It's been a long, exhausting day. Your troubles just won't go away. One thing that gets you through these is watching cheesy holiday movies. You think that you're above them, but you know that you love them. So get ready to listen. Now here comes Kevin and Kristin. Oh yeah.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Remark. Thank you so much for joining us. I am one of your hosts, Kevin Regan, and allow me to introduce to you the greatest host of all time.
Oh my God, Kevin, thank you so much for that lovely compliment. Right back at you, sister. So we had the joy, the exuberance of watching If I Only Had Christmas, starring the Candace Cameron Bure and her male lead playing Glenn, Warren Christie. Now, this is a tale that you may find familiar because they stole it from the film The Wizard of Oz, starring Judy Garland. Now, Candace Bure, or whatever her name is no Judy Garland. But her character works for some company that does something that helps some other company that also does something that helps then yet another company that I think helps children. Now, the thing about this plot is I was very lost. But the best part of a Hallmark film is you don't get too lost because you know she's going to find the love of her life. Spoiler alert, she did. Now, along the way, she meets some really fun friends that may fit the bill of some other friends that perhaps Dorothy met along the way. I don't want to get too into it before we introduce our guests because we made, and I say we made, two other people watch this film. Please welcome our guests, Tanya Morgan and Tara DeFrancisco. Hey. Welcome. Thank you. I would just like to add a disclaimer that I am sorry. This one, you know what? Maybe I'm not. This one was fun.
Yeah. This is that bad fun that we talk about that we want so desperately. So
Yeah.
Let me ask Tanya first. Have you ever watched a Hallmark film before?
I watched one other one, only because I knew I was going to watch this one. So I was like, oh, let me prepare because I don't typically watch movies like this or rom-coms, things like that. So
I like that you had to calibrate. You calibrated first before.
You're like, I gotta see what the base level for these things is.
I just needed to know what I was in for.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have only seen one other one. So this is number 2 for me.
Awesome. And that might be a description that we'll say again later. Tara, how about yourself? Have you ever watched a Hallmark film before?
Oh, thank you so much. I feel like I've seen, here's the deal. I've watched a lot of made-for-TVs. I've probably stumbled across some Hallmarks in a haze. And I feel like I've seen enough pieces and parts to have watched 20 of them, but never sat down for the duration of one full Hallmark. So this is my first seated full attention Hallmark movie.
I've never asked this question of our guests, and you guys can feel free to lie, be honest, whatever is in your heart. Did you make it all the way through?
Oh yes, and I do feel like we're gonna have a big discussion about how much you two owe us.
I know. It's funny when we ask people to do it. This is the part, recording this that I always like. Oh, it's such an inconvenience. But sometimes when we watch the movies, I'm like, no, this is the inconvenience.
No, this is the inconvenience. So Tanya, do you have Hallmark, or did you use the app and have to watch all the commercials?
So I have the Hallmark we have tons of stations that I do not watch.
Yeah.
So I looked it up and I was like, oh, I have it. Okay, great. So I didn't need to use that right there.
Good. Did you, because this is, again, dropping hot tips left and right for our remarkers out there. If you have the Hallmark channel and you're fortunate enough to DVR it? That's different. I don't want to tell you what that means. But DVR, you start exactly a half hour after the film has begun. You can skip all the commercials and still end when everyone else began. So that means there is a half hour of commercials. Tara, did you get to watch a half
I
hour
sure
of
did.
commercials?
And I'll tell you what, the commercials were a sweet oasis away from the plot that was this movie. Is that okay to say?
That's fair.
It's so sad when the commercials are better.
I feel like I was in it to win it, and I was really ready to get down with some Hallmark stuff. And I am kind of aligned with Kristin's description of said movie, where I just felt like I was like, I guess she works at a place. Something's definitely wrong, and she's got to help. But I don't know. It just was it was all over the place.
The best I can figure from it was you had this company called AI, which was Austin International. And Austin International was working with, Gum was the name of the PR company she worked for. And then Emerald.
That's the worst name for a PR company.
Okay, and I did not know this until today because I went deep diving because I was like, why? Like, there's a million Wizard of Oz references. What's that? And I didn't know. No, I thought that. But Judy Garland's actual last name was Gum. It was Gumm, and she sang with her sister.
Oh,
Wow.
And, I mean, they took every single drop they could find, and they sprinkled some here and just poured bags there. It was nothing subtle.
I mean, here's a crazy question: Have all of us have seen The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
In the very beginning, like you said, it was kind of like subtle. I didn't pick up on it until there was a commercial break, and then she said it basically, and then from then on, it was like bang over the head, just take this Emerald City, Austin is Oz. I was just like, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yeah.
Total same. I had no idea. Then Hallmark cut to break, and she was like, have I mentioned I love The Wizard of Oz? And I was like, what does this have to do with the movie? And then it was like, there's no place like home in Kansas City, Gum Agency. It was every 5 seconds after that.
If you decided to play a drinking game in this movie, every time there's a reference to a Wizard of Oz, you took a drink, I'm sorry to say you have died, because that is called alcohol poisoning. I do not recommend it.
Oh, there was, I guess, God, my notes. One of my notes is so many Christmas metaphors as well.
I have that too.
So many. Like when she came out and her brothers were like on her porch, and she was like, wow, look at this eggnog. Noggers. Like, I don't know what she said, but it was something related to Christmas for no reason. I've never done that in my life.
I felt like the whole movie was like positive affirmation quotes.
Yeah.
And then I started writing them down. I was like, oh, every line is like, you fall off a horse. What do you do? Pivot. Like, okay, that's one good one. And then it was like that voice in your head. What do you do? Tell it to shush.
Also, there was the amazing line of, you're one bad laugh and a hairless cat away from being an evil villain. Oh my God.
That was the chair. That was all the chair that he spun around in. I feel like that was an on-set rewrite where they're like, we have this chair, and the writer's like, use this. I don't care anymore.
Try this. It was lines, the lines all over the place. The Wizard of Oz stuff, the Christmas stuff. There was literally no place like home said. There was literally, they literally linked arms and walked down the path.
Down the yellow path. Yeah.
I couldn't stop laughing at that part. That was the part where I was gone. I was like,
no. And they weren't friends. They weren't like hot friends where everyone was like, you walk down the path with your best pals just trying to get your wish. And it was like, I think you met them this week and no one cared.
That's something for both of you that don't often watch these films, is there is a very different time.
Uh-oh. Is Chris
no.
frozen?
yeah. Ooh,
Perfect freeze, though, where she...
It's really good. It's really good.
It's almost like she's about to quantum leap. I'm not sure the thought she's about to say there. There you are. You froze.
She's back.
You all froze. Kev, you stayed like this drinking for a very long time.
I was very thirsty.
I have terrible news. My internet is unstable. I think it's the storms that we're having thunderstorms. But I think I'm back. Wait, what was I saying? Because it was great.
You launched into it, but you went... Do you know?
That's how characters are in Hallmark movies.
Oh, the characters in Hallmark movies.
Thank you, Julie.
That's my
Thank
wife.
you, Julie. Thank God for our live audience of Julie.
Yes.
that's a trope in the Hallmark films, is that like a day is actually a year of a friendship. So technically they were friends for like 5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wish
That's
they
how
got married at the end, because that will happen sometimes, and you guys would be like, what? How can you get married? You knew each other 3
Yeah.
days. We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I don't know.
I want to go back to the villain part because I honestly like this guy. I know him from other shows. This Warren Christie,
Yeah.
and he does not look like the guy in the movie I watched. Right? He was like cheruby looking. He looked like a toddler, just tall.
Yeah.
And so sweet and so cute. This guy does not look like that. He did look like a villain to me. And when they were walking through the path where it was all gold, like at the farm, he like accosted her. And for a minute, I thought I was watching an episode of like serial killers or something.
Yeah.
I got so scared for a second, like, what is happening?
Are you talking about In the Maze, Tanya?
In the
When they're-
Maze!
Yeah. That,
It came out of nowhere.
I was not happy with that.
I
was
did
like,
not like
Also,
that scene.
but who gets lost in a light maze that's completely exposed? She's like, oh, the walls are open. I can see everything. And a man. I need to also discuss Warren, because to me, he is 100% a Jason Bateman knockoff. He looks exactly like someone took
yeah.
Jason Bateman and just kind of slightly did it so they wouldn't, like, they didn't have the rights to Jason Bateman. So they just changed the features slightly, and you got this gentleman.
Tara, I love that, because my wife and I tried to figure out who he was the entire time. Like I went through Duchovny, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, it's not Duchovny.
Yeah, I get it.
Bill Pullman. I almost got kicked out of the house because I said Colin Firth, and she was like,
Oh,
and I was like, no, not him. Not him.
I was thinking a Jason Statham type of character, like a fighter. Like he seems so not fitting the mold of the promos that I saw. Like everyone looks so perfect, and he's a good looking man.
yeah. He just seems scarier than you'd think.
Yes,
You're right. There was an edge.
A little bit, yeah.
I think it's interesting that you put him as the villain, because I didn't feel he was the villain really after their first phone call. I did at first, and then it became, which, oh man, what a great name, Winona West. So you have the Wicked Witch of the West in there.
Come on.
I mean, and then even his pseudonym of Glenn Goodman was Linda the Good Witch, and it was like, wow. Like, I don't know what happened. I know there's no writer's room for this. It's one writer.
There was no writer. There was only a 7th grade plagiarizer taking parts of Wizard of Oz.
And so excited and happy for themselves when they came up with these things, without a doubt.
God. Well, I definitely started being like, okay, well, Riley is definitely the Scarecrow because he's dancing. But then at the end, they were like, this guy has so much courage. And I was like, wait. And then the Devo girl, Jackie, I thought she was the lion. And then at the end, they're like, she's got the brains. I was like, what? The only one that made sense was the lady, Dr. Tinsley. I was like, well, I get it.
Yeah, well, all of their last names. Riley's last name was Lion.
They gave up on him. Like, when they got to his, they were just like, lion.
They're just
We don't
done.
care.
Well, he's a lion. He's a lion. He's a lion. You get it.
Yeah.
Here, I have a question for you two. I mean, I feel like Tanya and I are stepping in, being like, we think we get it, but are Hallmark movies like, is Candace Cameron Bure like is she like the, I don't know, the gold of, that's who you want every year? You want to lock her in. Okay. So I wondered that, because during the commercial break, they went out of their way to be like, it's her favorite movie and this and that. And I wondered if they actually structured this for her to like entice her to do it.
You know, I wonder that too, Tara, especially the dance number. But I felt that whole section made not that any of it really makes sense, but it made no sense. And Glenn Goodman, William Austin, apologies, that is a spoiler. The easiest to decipher spoiler ever. He puts her up to it by saying a good PR rep would do that, and I'm thinking, no,
they wouldn't.
would not. Why would they ever do that? That whole dance number was her. That was Candace Cameron.
Totally all her. I think she was very jealous that Lacey Chabert got a whole movie about being a dancer, and she was like, hold up, wait a minute.
What have I watched?
And they wrote that in an hour. And the guy, Riley, the guy that played Riley, couldn't dance either. And then my favorite part was they totally upstaged the children. that the whole evening was about.
Yes. Yes. That is an important fact. There were like 10 children from this agency that were like, I love Christmas. And they were like, ba 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 ba.
We're dead.
Rhett wants to dance.
When he lifted her and spun her
Around the
Oh
neck,
my God.
around the neck. She grabbed his neck and was like, "What?" That was Dancing with the Stars all the way.
Anybody else see how aggressive that cheek kiss was?
Oh,
When he grabbed her, I was like,
Oh.
Well, it's as soon as it happened, I thought of Kristin because Chris, do you want to talk about why there was no lip kiss in that moment?
Yes,
Why-
I do.
Yeah.
Candace Cameron Bure is very Christian, and she only her husband doesn't want her kissing other men, but her job is kissing other men at times. So she has in her contract one time.
She's a professional kisser. She's a professional
yeah.
kisser.
But just
I
once
agree.
per film, you got to get it in one take.
Listen,
if,
she
if-
has
if a bug flies by, it's in the movie. Give it a tag card.
she has her priorities. If I was as famous as her, I'd be like, I need a bag of Doritos in my hand at all times. I need, you know what I mean? But she's like, I can only kiss once. I'd be like, I don't care.
Kristen, I need you to get as famous as her in the Hallmark world so that when they go, Kristen, what's your favorite movie? We get to watch a weird Donnie Darko Hallmark film. It would really be awesome.
It would be Goonies, but
That would be better.
It would be Goonies. I don't think I ever would have watched. I know I wouldn't have watched this movie had it not been for you two. But also, she's not my thing. Like she's not, and I also just don't love her stances on some things. So I was like, I'll watch it. And she's gotten, nicer and kinder as many people do over the years. But still, I was like, what's she like? All I could think about was she's got double barrettes. Every single picture, she's got double barrettes. I've never seen a woman in her 40s wearing double barrettes that isn't like an art teacher. I don't know. Double barrettes. Just constant barrettes. And she can't carry a coffee to save her life. Every coffee she had in the movie, she was like, does anyone want coffee? Anyone want some hot coffee? Hot coffee? You guys want this?
Tara, I would kill to have you teach a workshop to
What's
all
up?
of these actors about holding a cup of
Look,
coffee.
look, I gotta tell you, it's my specialty. I've opted out of all other education, and I'm just going for straight mugs at this point.
doing a good job.
Thank you.
Do you start with the mug and then go backwards to like the styrofoam cup because
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the big one. But when she came in with 4 Starbucks, I don't know. This is a world where was it Starbucks? They were using Apollo search instead of Google, so I don't know what the hell was happening.
yeah.
So in this place where coffee is not hot and we are using Apollo instead of Ask Jeeves or Bing or whatever, this is what we're watching, I guess.
I also, at about halfway, I thought the movie was over. And then I looked at what time it was. Like I looked and I was like, wait, what? Because I felt like something in the middle wrapped up.
Yeah.
And then it kept going. And I was like, okay. I don't even remember what that moment was, but I was like, I went to fast forward through a commercial and I was like, there's a lot more of this.
I have to say, the part of them linking arms and going to go see Oz felt out of place. Like, that felt kind of strange. But I think
Yeah.
right after that probably felt like it was done.
Oh, it was because they succeeded in making that Christmas tree farm have that event.
Me.
And I was like, we've done it. And
Yeah.
then they were like, there's more.
Don't worry. Yum Agency is on the go and ready to do a lot more.
That's
they
right.
never stop. Kristen, did you notice, and Tanya, if you happen to watch, if that one other movie you happen to watch was The Christmas House, did you notice who ran the Christmas tree farm?
I sure did. I sure did.
Magic Jim.
It was mad.
Was he in it?
Jeepers. He got to say Jeepers in this movie.
Jeepers. He said Jeepers. I wrote it down when it happened.
I did too.
Yeah, he played a very quirky character in another film. So there was the recycling. You saw some various characters show up, or not. They don't play the same characters, but actors from one movie to the next.
Are Hallmark fans losing their minds when they see like that guy's the
Yes.
blank
Oh,
from
I'm
okay.
certain. Yeah.
This is why I need to get into this world. It's a very niche, like they definitely keep just hiring the same people.
Yeah.
And like you were saying before, that the guy playing the main guy looked like Jason Bateman. This guy, to me, the Jeepers guy, is Hallmark's Jack Black. Like they throw him in where
Yeah.
they need a Jack Black. Yeah.
Comic
Yeah,
relief,
yeah.
without a doubt. Yeah.
That Jeepers line was just, that was perfect.
You can't write that. You can't write that.
You can't. I feel like maybe he improvised it.
There were a couple things in this too that I felt like were bits from other things. Like when they were at the bar initially together meeting, it felt like that part of The Office where Michael Scott meets D'Angelo.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
where-
Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where they're kind of like, I don't know, no one's here. I don't know who's showing up. I was like, I think they just watched The Office and stole the script.
Yeah.
It took way too long to get to that reveal.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah,
also
yeah.
what a weird for somebody who's in PR, what a weird unguarded behavior to exhibit and tell a stranger things that you wouldn't tell anybody, let alone a stranger.
Yeah, no way.
Like she went beeline straight for him.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, okay, are they trying to flirt or not? What does she want out of this conversation? So initially I thought that she knew that was him.
Yeah.
And then she started talking about him. So I'm like, okay, she
Okay.
doesn't know, but he knows that
Tanya-
that's her. So I was a little bit confused in that scene, a little tiny bit.
Bring up a good part, which is I didn't feel like they were necessarily supposed to be a couple until like a solid. I mean, I know that's the hope from
Sure.
many Hallmark hearts in the world, but during the beginning, I thought maybe they're just going to be really good business mates.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like there was like chemistry between them at all.
The part about the cookie, this stuck out for me because I felt like that, like they were going to be just good friends because she told him this really sincere thing about how her mom made cookies for her and her brother and would put their initials on it. And he took the time to do that and gave her that cookie, and they kind of just breezed by it. It was just like, cool,
She
thanks.
didn't even notice the initials on the cookie.
Like, that's what I would have done though. I would have just immediately
Like,
A monster.
Can you imagine taking the time to learn how to make snickerdoodles or whatever the hell it was and stamping out initials of people and then having someone be like, oh, cool.
right.
Neat.
There's also something. Wait.
Wait. I have to ask though, Tara, do you think he made that cookie? Because that maybe he did.
Oh, yeah.
thought he made it.
I definitely think he made that cookie, Kevin.
I thought he bought it.
No, he had to stamp them.
Tara, it was in a tin, right? Like the tin that you get from the dollar store, and it
Yes,
was
Tanya.
It was all
Yes.
misshapen. It wasn't like a perfect looking
No,
cookie.
that was a messed up cookie.
I thought he bought it.
I did
No,
too.
no. I'm with Tanya.
That's
Team
why I
Tanya.
was like, that's usually the end of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, you've done this thing, and now we are collapsing into each other's arms. This is so romantic. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
I want to get a still shot. I want a still shot of those cookies because I think they're pretty bad cookies. Like they were kind of mashed in the middle and the sugar was all messed up. So yeah, he was sitting in his apartment just doughing it out.
That
Trying
guy's
to
like a billionaire making cookies. Man, just
I really thought he said, I stopped in here and got you a cookie. I really thought
It was a tin. I'm with Tanya. He had a tin.
that's
Hey,
the
I'm not going to argue it.
recollection I have.
But I also just really briefly want to talk about, because you brought up the mom for a minute, and the mom and the dad and these twin brothers and their partners. There was a moment where the mom was on the phone and the brothers were like, hey! And like came into frame. And I've literally never, like, it was, I feel like the director was like, all right, guys.
But he was all the way back here, and they're like, "Is that him?" And it's like, "How would you know?" Like,
It was like, so funny. And then he came out of the darkness.
Yes, that was when he was coming to murder her.
Yes. There were so many times in the movie where he grabbed our main gentleman. He grabbed her shoulders in such a strange way that was like, and that's why I want you to know I care about you in Christmas. It was like no one touches you. Like no one's like, let me set you straight.
Yeah.
It was always like this weird clamp.
speaking of creepy men grabbing and touching our hearts, I think it's time for our Hallmark holiday hunk objectification.
That's right, Kevin. We're moving into my personal favorite portion where we objectify the main male character of the film. This is Glenn, or someone Austin, or I don't know. He lied so many times, I don't know. He literally could be Marilyn Manson. But anyway, he is played by Warren Christie. We're going to rate the character of Glenn 1 out of 10 mistletoes. I like to base it off, are they hot? Did they get you steamed? Were your bells jingling? You know, did you like the character? I guess. But I prefer looks. So Kevin, please, 1 out of 10 mistletoes. What do you get?
Okay, listen, here's the thing. This one, I literally was deliberating on like a jury. I was thinking about it all day. Like, I wasn't talking to people. I wasn't watching the news. I didn't want any outside influence. I did talk to my wife. In fairness, I talked to my wife.
Oh,
She had
good.
a different score than me. And I was hung up on one thing, and it was this. He talks up the caprese salad to her when they go out to lunch or dinner or whatever it is. He's talking about the caprese salad, so she orders it, and he immediately orders the bruschetta. And I can't tell if that is like the worst, like, just mind game I've ever seen, or if it was kind of funny and charming. And I'm on the fence. But I'm going to tell you, that would have been the difference between the 6 and a 7. And after listening to Tara and Tanya say that they think that he made those cookies, I'm going to go with the 7.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, okay. Tanya, how about you? 1 out of 10 mistletoes.
Well, if we're going just straight off of looks,
Yeah, please.
yeah. I mean, this guy is. Oh wait, I'm married, so I gotta take it easy with the bell jingling. I I'm gonna give him. I would give him, based off just straight up looks, I would give him a 10.
Ooh.
Because I'm giving him a 10.
Okay.
Yes, the scruff, the eyes, the dark hair, the brooding personality. To me, he was a little scary for this type of movie, but put him in like an Italian Job type of movie, or like something where he's racing cars or tearing off his shirt and boxing or something.
All right.
Perfect. So yeah,
Wow.
I'm gonna give him a 10.
I like that. He jingled your bell.
And if you keep it in the Hallmark world, you might catch one of those types of films in the harvest season.
He'll be shirtless riding a tractor. Tara, how about you? 1 out of 10 mistletoes. I mean, you can't beat a 10, or could you? I don't know.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, I don't know how to do it. I think that Tanya has a good point, which is if you put him in a different product, would I think he was more attractive? And I gotta tell you, I don't know how you objectify a robot man. I felt uncomfortable most of the time, the full first 40 minutes, until he made those snickerdoodles, and then I was like, he has a sweet little heart. He dug deep when he started to get choked up about how he felt about Candace Cameron Bure. I felt more for him. What I didn't like though is how he kind of gaslit her and showed up on her porch at the end and was like, hey team, I'm gonna stick around for Christmas. A little weird. Drop some bells. Drop some holly. I didn't like it. I'm gonna give him a 5 because I don't trust his face and I think he was created in a lab.
Yeah. Tara, I am so much closer with your evaluation of this robot. I thought I watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and there were robots that looked like people that I think that this was what that was. And I love his scruff. I love a scruff, right? We almost had a white crisp shirt moment, but he never took his suit jacket off. And I was like, you're wasting my time. So I got mad at that. But yeah, Tara, when he shows up and he's like, hey, I'm here. And then she's like, you've got to go. And he's like, no. And then they awkwardly drop those packages. Anyway, he didn't jingle any of my bells except for maybe like a little like, because of his beard. But I'm going to give him a 5 as well.
Yes.
All
I
right.
get it though. I get it.
Well, 2 5 equals a 10. So,
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Chris,
Yes.
this wasn't the only movie that was on Hallmark this past weekend. There was also something on the seas, if you will.
It was called USS Christmas, and there was a mystery to solve. So guess who we called? Shannon and Aubrie, our detective sleuths are on the case.
and welcome to Winter Wonder Whodunit. I'm Aubrie, and this is my co-host, Shannon. Shannon? Shannon, can you hear me?
Oh,
Shannon?
oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I was jamming out to my favorite Christmas song. I don't know if we can afford that, so I apologize to Kristin and Kevin for the amount that they now have to pay for the royalties for that.
Tonight, we are going to discuss the great mystery, the USS Christmas. It had everything. Boats, troops, Maddie, who was a journalist at a paper was it the Norwegian Times?
North Folklore Gazette.
Ah, the North Folklore Gazette.
But it's a full newspaper about the album Folklore by Taylor Swift. So she was like a real reporter that wanted to write fluff pieces, which is the opposite of what normally happens.
Yeah.
But what was her big story about? I don't remember.
I think it was like an expose on big banks or something.
It was about big bankers, so it was like about the Monopoly Man?
That's what I thought.
For giving
he's
some
ever
people
done.
$200 and not giving other people $200?
Yeah, for putting-
Was her story about why the Monopoly Man is the reason for the income inequality in our country. Is that what that was about?
Did we solve the mystery?
We solved the mystery.
She's a military brat. Her dad died. She was a military brat. Now she's a journalist. Her dad
died in war?
Her dad died in war, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he was in the Air Force, but like what he did exactly, right? They never said that.
I don't think that these people actually know what the military does.
And so she never wanted the military life as an adult. And her sister is in the Air Force.
She's at the diner with her sister.
Ooh, there's some important details about their breakfast too, right?
Oh yeah, she likes crispy bacon. Also, who doesn't? Crispy bacon is the only way you should eat bacon.
Agreed.
Because soggy bacon is gross.
Crispy Bacon is also the mascot of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs.
They decide to go on this cruise thing that takes place on the military boat
Yes.
with airplanes. What's that called?
Aircraft carrier?
Yep.
Right?
Here it is, the USS Flag aircraft carrier. USS Flag aircraft carrier comes with what you see here, other figures and equipment sold separately.
But wait, why is it called a tiger cruise?
Your guess is as good as mine. I did not look it up. I'm sure there's a good reason.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
She goes on the cruise, and guess who's there?
None other than the Grinch, in quotation.
Oh, Billy Jenkins.
On the first night, her mom, and her sister get invited to dinner with Captain Jenkins and his son. And so they get to dinner, and he's with the same girl he was with before. But the big reveal in this dinner is that is not his girlfriend. They are just good friends. And why would anyone think they were dating when they went to a Navy ball together?
And now they're at dinner together.
That's when the sparks could fly if they wanted them to.
I appreciate that you said sparks fly while talking about a movie with airplanes.
So Maddie decides to write an article about a love story about people falling in love on a boat because
they found an ornament.
So Maddie wanted to investigate this story. Another investigative journalist. A real mystery.
So we're fine. We have to find out who made this ornament and what was their love story.
She gets access to the archives of past people on the boat, and she finds a journal. Sam William Williams. Fun fact, my grandfather's actual name was David William Williams. His middle name was William, and his last name was Williams. That's a true fact about my grandfather. So we're digressing a lot.
Oh yeah, I have no idea where we are in the plot of this movie. So she enlists the help of Billy Jenkins to try to get his heart to grow 3 sizes. They go to New York.
And so they do have a lovely day. They go to a diner. He talks about train sets. They share a hot chocolate with candy canes in it. And he even eats a candy cane, which means his heart grew at least 2 sizes by that point. Before they went to New York City, there was one detail. They had to be back by 6 p.m. or 8 p.m.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. So they were having a blast, and they're sitting down for burgers, and they're sharing their milkshake. And we called it, that it's time's running out. They're not gonna make it. And they, just made it, you know?
Yeah, it was 7:30 when they sat down for burgers, and they were like, oh, wait, we need to go on a ship. Here's the thing. This is why I don't think Hallmark knows how the military works. Because if you are a military person, you are programmed to be absolutely on time. It is like 100%. Drilled into your head.
Oh, yeah.
Literally by a drill sergeant.
Military
and this guy is like just willy-nilly, just gallivanting around New York, not caring about the time. That wouldn't happen. They like go through the whole thing, and then they find out the daughter's name.
Yes.
And she goes to see the family.
Yes.
And they chat it up.
Yes.
Now, during all this, the Billy the Jenkins, the
Grinch Jenkins, that's his wrestling name.
Billy the Grinch Jenkins professes his love to this woman who he's known for 5 days. She's like, no, I don't want to. You're a military guy, and I don't want that life. And then he's like, yeah, but we're, like, perfect for each other. And she's like, no. And so she goes to see this family, say it didn't matter, we were in love, even though he was, wait, he was sent to war, right? And then he became a POW. And she was like, I'll just wait for you.
She thought he was dead.
Yeah, they thought he was dead. And then they were like, no, he's alive. That was the exact phrasing that she's like, I thought he was dead. But they were like, no, he's alive. And she was like, great. So then he came home, right? After 7 years, and completely glossed over the fact that this man spent 7 years in a POW camp.
I mean, I guess you can't. I guess that's sensitive. It's sensitive. I get it. But
sure.
As someone writing a script, you have to address that.
You cannot just drop that detail.
In the last 20 minutes, again, that's how all of these happen. The biggest details just, like a bomb from a plane, Shan. Pew!
Goes the troops.
The thing that kind of changed Maddie's heart was she was like, well, Sam was my home, so my home was wherever he went. And so I think that was where she decided to pull a baller move and ask her boss if she could no longer write the big stories, but if she could write the military beat, because apparently her paper had a military beat. Doesn't someone else already have that job though? And why is her?
I mean, did she make it up?
That was my confusion, because no one else was working the military beat. But now you're just creating a military beat, or you're taking someone else's job. Fun fact, this was shot in Wilmington, North Carolina, where Dawsons Creek filmed. I know that because a young Aubrie was an extra in Dawsons Creek, because I was a real cool kid. And also, the name of the movie theater in this was the Rialto, which was also the name of the movie theater in Dawsons Creek. I hope someone else out there appreciates that fact. A big plot point that's in all of these. She writes an article and she tells him to read it, basically, because she's on the military beat now. It's all good. And his dad is sitting in the living room and he's like, oh, did you read Maddie's story? And he's like, no. And he's like, you should. He didn't want to.
I don't want to read it. And then his dad was like, no, you should. It's really good. He's like, fine. And then he reads it. And what does he say?
Get her. A lot of movies end this way, and it usually ends with the person who wrote the article doing a voiceover of them reading the article. Yeah. So this was refreshing in the fact that she did not do the voiceover of the article. But we'll never know what it said. So that was it. We did it. We got to the end of USS, or as I like to call it, Christmas. Hooray, we did it.
Now we get to play our favorite segment, What's the Mystery? So, Aubrie, what was the mystery?
Why did they feel the need to write Billy the Grinch Jenkins on his plane? Because it was written and the Grinch was in quotations.
Was that his call sign? So instead of Maverick or Ace or
does it always have their whole name and their
call name?
Does it? I don't know anything.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
It did in Top Gun.
Okay, Shan, what do you think the mystery is?
I think the mystery is, what was the deal with that girl? Did they think that she was going to be a bigger point in the movie, and then they halfway through writing it gave up on her and were just like, don't use her?
Our next segment is what should really happen on a tiger cruise. It sounds so exciting, like a beautiful, majestic cruise. So Shannon and I are going to say what we think the tiger cruise should be.
Yeah, well, absolutely. If you're on a tiger cruise, there should be at least one tiger, if not multiple ones, and you should absolutely be able to ride them.
My perfect tiger cruise would involve a Captain Tony the Tiger. You would only eat Frosted Flakes or other sugary cereals. And you would all just say they're great all the time. And it would be so much fun.
That does sound great.
As a young teen, my perfect tiger cruise would have been a tiger beat, like all of the young stars. And you all go on a cruise ship together and you get your picture with JTT. And you get a bunch of 4-page posters autographed by Blossom.
Why is that not a thing? To piggyback off that, there could be a section of the Tiger Cruise, the Tiger Beat Tiger Cruise, where there's a diner with the Bayside Tigers.
Oh my God! I see
the Max.
The Max. Oh my God, dude, we gotta create multiple cruises. Is our job in the future just gonna be creating dream cruises? And how do we get that job?
Creating dream tiger cruises.
I think we did it.
We did it.
We did it, my friend. This has been so delightful, as always. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another riveting, I would say, episode of Winter Wonder Whodunit. Until next time, Winter Wonder Whodunit. Out.
Oh, they did it. They solved the mystery. They found the people, and the people found each other and something. Yay, Shannon.
I'm just glad they didn't fall off the ship.
Shannon and Aubrie, if they fell off the ship, that would have been a problem because there are more movies to watch.
We need them. Thanks, gals.
Kristin, there was a gentleman in this film.
Is that what we're calling that thing?
Well, I mean, that's what he would be. He's literally a gentleman. Did you see An Officer and a Gentleman, the movie?
I did. You're correct. He's an officer, I guess.
Kristin, we are talking about the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, I think he has blue eyes, I don't know, but he has blonde hair, Trevor Donovan.
All right, we're going to rate Trevor Donovan at a 1 out of 10 mistletoes. I don't even know why we're wasting our time.
Let me ask you this. Are you tired of even explaining this at this point?
Do you get it? We're objectifying someone and giving them a number, okay? Based off their looks. So Kevin, what do you give him? 1 out of 10 mistletoes.
I will give him a 4.
I gave him a 2. And thank you so much for your time.
Kristin, I figured, here we are on the other side of Thanksgiving. Christmas is upon us. It's coming up upon us. We've got live shows coming up. There's one, if you're watching this on Thursday, December 3rd, there's one tonight at 8 o'clock. There's one December 10th, and there's one December 17th. And I thought, what a perfect time for us to call our dear friend, Danica McKellar. So let's give her a call and see how it's been.
Just dial it.
Okay, here we go. It's ringing.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
Is that the right number?
If you feel you have reached
Did you do the right number?
error,
Yeah.
please check the number and try your call again.
Well, hold on. Stop. We'll maybe something was wrong. We'll dial it again. All right, it's ringing. That was probably the wrong number.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
I don't understand.
If you feel you have reached this
What's
recording in error,
happening?
please check the number
I don't know.
and try your call again.
Is Danica McKellar not using technology anymore? She got rid of her phone, I guess.
People get phones disconnected when they die.
No.
I think we would have felt it.
Listen, I mean, the economy's wonky. Maybe she can't afford to pay her cell phone. Maybe that's what we can do is we can raise money. I'm not going to raise money because I don't want to return money when...
Don't get choked up. Don't get choked up. This is just a glip. I have an idea.
Did you mean to say glitch? Did you mean to say glitch or did you mean glip?
It's a glip. It's a glip.
Like a glitch and a blip.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you for defining my word.
I'm crying over here. I thank you for bringing levity to this moment. But I thought she was going to be on the show. I was so excited. I mean, I thought James, we were really, making a connection, but...
I don't want to blame James.
Son of a glip. You think this is James's doing?
I don't want to. It's Christmas time, and I want Christmas magic to be a part of this experience with Danica. But if you're out there and you did this, just know that Christmas isn't yours.
Yes, that's right. Don't be a Grinch, James. Don't be like Ebenezer Grinch or whatever that guy's name is.
I think that one's Scrooge, buddy.
See? James, be a man. Come on our show.
Show your face.
But next week, because we're running out of time.
This is it. Kevin, during this film, they had a snickerdoodle cookie and it made me want a snack.
Oh, they had a Santa Claus too, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they did. So you know what it reminded me of?
What?
Santa's snack time segment.
Ho, 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 ho. Welcome to another Santa Snack Pairings. Kevin and Kristin, I can't believe you're still making these. But today, I watched If I Only Had a Christmas. I struggle to remember the title because it's so awkwardly worded until you realize why it was called that with its tie to the Wizard of Oz. Then you realize it's still poorly worded. Let's make a snack anyway. Well, this movie takes place in Kansas City and then Connecticut. And what's Connecticut known for? Absolutely nothing. And so instead, I came here to San Francisco. For you regular Remark watchers, is it Remark or Remark? Either way, for those of you who've seen the show before, said, hey, that might look a lot like Chicago. Well, you need to know that gray cabinets and white backsplash are very popular all over America. So back to my story. You're asking yourself, why are you in San Francisco when the movie took place in Connecticut? They mentioned New York and Kansas City. Well, the thing is, if you're like me, the entire time you were watching, you couldn't think about Candace Cameron being on Full House. And Full House took place in San Francisco. And what's San Francisco known for? Rice-A-Roni. Now, some of you might also be thinking, Santa, you can't put a spoon in the microwave. I can get to every house in one night. You don't think I could put metal in a microwave? Try me. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Listen, we have some bonus time, Chris. Can we talk a little bit more about Christmas by Starlight? Because I feel like we didn't get to.
I should probably just keep going. What a magical adventure!
I'm telling you, Paul Campbell. Don't have any new mail to talk about. I've got. Oh wait, what is this?
Does she just put them in there, like when you don't even know?
Yeah, some of them she'll be.
Oh, that is very sweet.
Yeah, it's
okay.
Kit. So Kit loves Daddy, and then
Daddy.
this one is, I think, Tay Diggs loves Kristin. So, yeah. So you're in there too.
Wow.
Tay Diggs, big fan of yours.
Well, I'm a big fan of Tay Diggs. His work was classic in the 90s.
Oh, you're not wrong, sister. And if you want to talk about Tay Diggs, send us an email at remarktheshow.com. We can talk Taye Diggs all night long.
All night.
Hedwig on Broadway. Did you know that?
No.
He did.
He can't not do anything.
Yeah. What do you think Taye Diggs can't do? If we came up with a list of 3 things we don't think Taye Diggs could do, what do you think?
I don't think Taye Diggs could be mean.
Yeah,
I don't think Taye Diggs could not share.
No.
And I also don't think that Taye Diggs knows how to like make scrambled eggs well. He probably makes runny ones. And that's his one.
Yeah, I mean, he's an Adonis beyond that. You can't have everything be perfect. I don't think Taye Diggs will ever stop holding a door, even if you're an uncomfortable distance away. You know, like, because I'll hold a door. Like, I'm a gentleman, but at the same time, there comes a point, and I'm like, I do math, and I'm like, and I push it to get it just a little extra oomph. Taye Diggs can't do that. I honestly don't think Taye Diggs can do a very good impression of Christopher Walken. Other people, sure, but not him. What else don't I think Taye Diggs can do? I don't think he can break a heart because he is all love all the time.
Agreed. I feel like even if Taye Diggs broke up with you, you'd be like, but thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It would be cushioned by his looks and his lovingness, and like, you would thank him. So
it's fine. Thank you.
If you have a list of 3 things that you think Taye Diggs can't do, please tell us at remarktheshow.com. Our mailbox is waiting for you.
If I only had Christmas, which doesn't make any sense because I get that they're trying to do if I only had a brain, but I feel like that's too specific to the Scarecrow, and she was playing Dorothy, so there should have been There's No Place Like Christmas should have been the title of this god darn film.
You're right.
Hallmark, please call me.
Yeah, we're available. To clarify, though, you had talked about her mother and father. That was actually her stepmother. And the only reason I point that out is they call her M. They call her Emma. But like the Aunt M, Henry is her father, just like Dorothy Gale's. Her brothers in this are Huck instead of Hunk. It was Hunk in the movie. And not her brothers, it's the farmhands and Zeke. So the one they were missing was someone. It's the one that the Tin Man is, but I forget. Hawkley? No, that's not it. I'll write it under here because I'll look it up. There it is. Oh, of course, that's
there it is. That's right, Kevin. You're correct.
But if there's a stepmom, it often is because dead mom alert. So, one of those.
I love a dead mom alert.
They're all awkward. Like, they're all awkward now, and I feel like we have to call them out because the second we don't, that's what makes it even weirder. It's like, why didn't you call out the dead child? Oh, because I don't wanna. If there ever becomes a dead pet, I won't put that in. I'll be like, that. I'm not doing it.
No, but she had Bobo instead of Toto.
It should have been Ho-Ho. Like, how do you miss that? Like, that's so obvious. Like,
What's
that one
obvious?
is so obvious.
Oh, Ho-Ho.
Yeah.
I was thinking the snack cake.
Thank you all for watching. Thank you if you actually watched this movie. And I want to thank Tanya and Tara for being here. First, Tanya, is there something we can plug for you?
Yeah, sure. Every Friday night, watch The In Crowd on Zoom or Twitch or Facebook. Also, I'm on an improv team called Daddy Issues, and we have a show every 3rd Friday of the month at 7 o'clock. Nice. Yeah, and it's all Zoom stuff.
Everything's Zoom.
Everything's Zoom.
Tara, what can we plug for yourself?
Oh man, remember this year and how weird it is? I don't know. We'll do it. How about this? I run a place called the Nest Theater in Columbus. We call it C-Bus, Ohio. Formerly Chicago, and now we started an artistic home here in Columbus. You can check out lots of things there at nesttheater.com, including Comedy Sports Columbus, including 25 other rotational long-form medium and musical shows, including here the Improvised Musical, which typically tours globally. We've been to 28 countries and I think 80 cities worldwide in a normal year. So we're going to get back on the road probably in late 2021. other than that, we're just teaching virtually and doing shows virtually until we get to be together again. So nesttheater.com or hearthemusical.com is probably the best place to catch me.
Awesome. Hear the Musical, fantastic. You guys are awesome. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for watching this. And, watch something better next time.
Yeah.